it's officially spooky season, and K-dramas aren't holding back this year. From cursed cults to blood-soaked betrayals, from haunted mansions to zombie-ridden streets, these stories prove that. Korea doesn't just do romance, they do terror like no one else. Tonight, we're diving deep into 10 of the scariest K-dramas ever made. The ones that'll make you check the shadows, lock your doors, and maybe, just maybe, sleep with the lights on. Whether you crave psychological nightmares or monster mayhem, this list has something that'll send shivers down your spine. I'm your host, and before we begin this dark journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more terrifying K-drama recommendations. Because once you start this list, there's no turning back. The Geist. In a small Korean town cursed by centuries of evil, 3 strangers are brought together by fate, a psychic haunted by violent visions, a priest burdened by failed exorcisms, and a detective who doesn't believe in the supernatural until the darkness comes for him. Starring Kim Dong-wook, Kim Jae-wook, and Young Jun-chae. The Guest drags you into a world where spirits slip between faith and fear. Each episode peels back layers of trauma, revealing that possession isn't always by demons. Sometimes it's guilt and grief that refuse to die. If you think you've seen exorcism stories before, think again. The Guest turns salvation into a nightmare you can't pray your way out of. 9. Revenant. When the door between the living and the dead opens, evil walks right through it in Revenant. Kim Tae-ri plays a young woman cursed by a spirit she can't see, one that uses her body to commit unexplainable murders, haunted and terrified. She teams up with a folklore professor, played by Oh Young-se, who believes the secret lies in ancient ghost stories forgotten by time. What begins as a series of strange deaths turns into a fight for her soul, and every clue drags them deeper into Korea's dark mythology. Unlike typical ghost dramas, Revenant doesn't rely on jump scares. It chills you slowly through shadows, whispers, and the feeling that someone is standing right behind you. Clever, haunting, and deeply emotional, Revenant proves that the scariest ghosts are the ones inside us. 8. Strangers from Hell. Sometimes, hell isn't a place. It's the people living next door in Strangers from Hell. I'm Swan stars as Jong-woo, a young man who moves to Seoul chasing his dreams, only to end up in a crumbling apartment building called Eden. But Eden isn't what it seems. The walls are thin, the halls echo at night, and the neighbors. Watch too closely, among them is a mysterious dentist, played by Lee Dong-wook, whose chilling smile hides something truly disturbing as the nights grow longer and the screams louder. Jong-woo's grip on reality starts to slip. Is he losing his mind? Or is everyone around him part of something darker? Strangers from Hell blends psychological horror with raw social anxiety, proving that true terror isn't supernatural. It's human, creepy, slow-burning, and unforgettable. It's a nightmare that feels too real to escape. 7. Save Me. Not every monster hides in the dark. Some stand in the light and call themselves saviors. In Save Me, Essia the G stars as Sang-mi, a young woman whose family joins a mysterious religious group after tragedy strikes. What begins as a promise of healing soon turns into imprisonment under the grip of a twisted cult leader, played chillingly by Jo Sung-ha. Desperate and isolated, Sang-mi sends silent cries for help to her old classmates, one of whom, Taeseon, refuses to turn away. As they uncover the cult's horrifying secrets, every rescue attempt becomes a fight between faith, fear, and freedom. There are no ghosts here, only blind devotion and human cruelty. And that's what makes Save Me so terrifying raw, emotional, and disturbingly real. This drama exposes how easily hope can become horror when it's placed in the wrong hands. 6. Gyeongseong Creature. In the spring of 1945, when Korea was still under Japanese rule, darkness didn't just lurk in politics, it hid beneath the city park SEO June stars as Jong Tae-sung, a wealthy man who knows every secret of Gyeongseong's black market. When a missing person case leads him to a hospital run by the military, he uncovers something far worse than corruption: human experiments that have created monsters. Alongside Han So-hee, playing a fearless bounty hunter searching for her mother, they descend into a nightmare of blood, betrayal, and survival. Each corridor echoes with the cries of those who were turned into creatures by greed and power. Gyeongshin Creature mixes historical tragedy with monster horror, reminding us that the real beasts are often human, stylish, brutal, and heart-pounding. It's a haunting story of courage born from chaos. 5. Sweet Home. When the world ends, monsters aren't the only thing you should fear. Sometimes, it's what's inside you. In Sweet Home, Song Kang stars as Chai Hyun-soo, a lonely teenager who moves into an old apartment building after losing his family. But his fresh start turns into a nightmare when a mysterious virus begins turning humans into horrifying creatures born from their deepest desires. Trapped with a group of strangers, including Lee Jin-wook and Lee Si-young, Hyun-soo must fight to stay alive and to stop the monster growing within him. Every transformation is grotesque yet tragic, showing that the line between human and beast is painfully thin. Sweet Home turns survival horror into an emotional roller coaster. It's not just about fighting monsters, it's about finding your humanity before it disappears completely. 4. Kingdom. In a land of power and plague, the dead do not rest. Set in the Joseon dynasty, Kingdom follows Ju Ji-hoon as Crown Prince Lee Chang, who discovers a terrifying epidemic sweeping through his kingdom, one that turns the dead into flesh-eating monsters. As political corruption rots the palace from within, the prince must battle both zombies and betrayal to uncover the truth behind the outbreak. Alongside Bae Doonan, playing a determined physician, they race against time to save their people before the entire nation collapses. Every scene is cinematic, blending royal drama, brutal sword fights, and bone-chilling horror in a way no other K-drama has done. 3. Island. On the peaceful shores of Jeju Island, something ancient and evil has awakened. Island follows Kim Nam-gil as Van, a half-human, half-demon warrior cursed to protect the world from dark spirits that prey on humanity. For centuries, he's lived in isolation, fighting creatures born from sin, until he meets Lee Da-hee, a woman unaware she's the key to an ancient prophecy. When her arrival triggers a surge of demonic power, Van is forced to face his past and the monster he's become, with Chai Yun-woo as a young priest torn between faith and fate. Their paths intertwine in a battle between heaven and hell. The series blends fantasy, action, and horror with stunning visuals and heartbreaking emotion. Island isn't just about exorcism, it's about destiny, sacrifice, and the haunting truth that sometimes even the savior needs saving. 2. All of Us Are Dead. When the zombie apocalypse begins, the first victims aren't strangers. They're your classmates. In All of Us Are Dead, Park Ji-hoo and Yoon Chan-young lead a group of high school students trapped inside their school as a deadly virus spreads uncontrollably. What? Started as a science experiment gone wrong turns into a desperate fight for survival. Friends become enemies, choices turn deadly, and every hallway becomes a battlefield. With the outside world cutting them off, they're forced to face not just the undead, but the fear, guilt, and grief that come with watching the people they love turn into monsters, heart-pounding, emotional, and brutally real. All of Us Are Dead captures both the chaos of survival and the innocence lost along the way. It's not just a zombie story. It's a tragic coming-of-age tale written in blood and courage. 1. The Eighth Show. 8 strangers wake up trapped inside a strange, high-rise building. No windows, no exits. Just 8 floors and one rule. The longer they stay, the more money they earn. At first, it feels like a game show. Cameras are everywhere. Food appears on cue. But as greed takes over, alliances break, and the line between survival and sanity disappears. Each participant represents a social class, from the desperate to the powerful, and what starts as entertainment turns into a dark experiment about human nature. Starring Roo Jun-il, Jun Woo-hee, and Park Jang-min, The Eighth Show delivers twisted psychology, claustrophobic tension, and moral chaos that'll make you question what people would do when watched and paid. Every choice they make earns them fortune or death.